Hi, Buckley here from BABELFORCE. I'm talking with Graham Robson from CloudSET today. A lot of our customers have problems with SLA management. It doesn't make a difference what industry they're in, whether it's e-commerce, retail, financial services. As soon as you've got a significant number of interactions going on with customers, you've got SLA problems, and that's how we got to know CloudSET, because that's their area of expertise. Graham, maybe you can tell us a little bit about CloudSET first of all and what you guys do.
Sure. Thanks, Piers. CloudSET is in fact Zendesk's oldest partner. We have been configuring and extending Zendesk since 2009. We're based in the UK, although we have a wide worldwide customer base, God bless the internet, for over 500 customers across all sectors and company sizes.
Maybe you can tell us, what do you guys mean? When you talk about an SLA at CloudSET, and what exactly does that mean for you?
Okay, well, there's the technical answer, which is SLA stands for Service Level Agreement, which is a bit dry. We like to simplify that a little to just keeping your promises. It's a lot of it's to do ultimately with expectation management. So it's the expectation that you give your customers about how long you're going to take to respond to them. It's setting expectations to your staff as to what is expected of them, so it's nice and clear. So an SLA can be a very simple promise, a one-line specification. We'll always get back to you in 2 hours. Or it could be much more of a managed life cycle. It could be something like the first human response within 2 hours, with an ongoing update every 6 hours, and a target time of 12 hours to resolve.
Okay, that's great. That gives us sort of a high-level view of how you see SLAs. How can a customer see what is going on across all channels and all tickets in the way that you guys do SLA management?
Sure. I think the first thing we'd like to show you here is something we call the SLA Assistant, which is the very personalized view the agent gets. We've got a ticket here, which has started its life cycle. And to the right here, we see the SLA Assistant. It's very, very clear as to the events. It has to be responded to in 5 hours, clock hours time. That actually translates to 2000 hours on Monday the 26th. It needs to be solved, within 3 days. It's going to be done by midnight on Thursday. So that's the kind of individual kind of targets within here. We're also interested in the aggregated view, seeing the bigger picture. And this is where we then have the SLA dashboard. So the SLA dashboard is a way of being able to see all of your tickets. Now, this is sometimes we call this the destination board. It's a bit like, your train is leaving in 8 minutes. The next one is in 13 minutes. But we get an indication here very much focused on the SLA event. So the next SLA event is solved by within 8 minutes. You'll see this one is actually in amber. That's getting close to its target time. So it gives you a visual indicator within there, but you can also have notifications go out on those as well. The next one is it was in 13 minutes for a different type of event. And we're also indicating here that this ticket could possibly, it's currently on pending, but it could possibly come out of pending very quickly, and you then have 30 minutes in order to do this. To the right, we have the tickets here that are late, and then on the other side, you've got what's coming over the horizon. And we also have a layout that is perhaps a little bit more traditional, where you have each ticket is represented here as a row. But what we can do is we can start switching on other columns, so we can actually see all the events for the ticket in a particular row. Green ticks are tick means is good, in a sense that that event has now happened, and green, it happened within time.
I see. So I guess our customers typically have their call events affect what happens in tickets. So almost anything that happens on the call will end up in the ticket. So how would say an SLA for a callback Say, a callback would be when somebody calls out of hours or when there's no agents available
Sure.
at a particular skill set. They're going to end up requesting a callback in some circumstances, and they need to be measured then on the other side. And it's a common query from our customers. Maybe you can give us some insight into how that would be set up or how that would work.
Absolutely, yeah. So what we've been doing here is looking at the very big picture, but we also have something called SLA views, which is the ability to kind of break these things down for particular audiences. If we want to look at the ones that are awaiting callback, we can have a bookmark, which is just a kind of a quick way of getting to the same thing with exploring it. We might want to see these are the ones which have got these ones are still waiting within here, and if you've had the callback, you may have then further aspects of still to kind of solve the ticket, so we can segment them down completely for that channel.
So the administrator or the supervisor of a team, or whoever is concerned with managing this process, they can see here they can kind of dig in themselves and find out how many callbacks have been dealt with within the SLA, how many haven't, and so on.
Yes. The wider interface with all the filters is something you can just filter around and discover yourself, but these are accelerators to get you very interested in the particular tickets that you want. Same definition.
Okay, that's really cool. Another problem that comes up a lot, I mean, it's a real headache in the call center, is the day-to-day management of absences or with agents. I guess what people often call intraday resourcing or whatever. Like, agent is sick. How do you find out you've got a problem? What needs to be done? How do you guys help with that?
Sure, that's one of our favourite things about the dashboard is that ability to very quickly understand your information. So we have a look at the agents within here, and I'm going to pick on myself and actually just see what my current position is. If I'm off ill, somebody coming in here will be able to see that certainly there's some action needed in the next 4 hours. I get an exposure on here. I might be able to go across here and have a look at another agent, find out what their kind of exposure is, and see whether they're a good candidate for taking that ticket.
You mean this is what you do, right, all the time, you guys? This is like your bread and butter, is trying to figure out how to help customers with SLAs. What would you say are like the main criteria, the main things to look at when you want to set up a good quality SLA management?
Absolutely, yeah, that's a really great question. We start with the obvious things: is that we need an SLA specification. The organization needs to be clear about really what their promises are. We'd love to see those very customer focused, as opposed to trying to kind of measure internal standards with what you're doing. The other aspect, which I touched on earlier when we're looking at the SA assistant, is really make things very proactive. The operational execution of your processes is really what you should be focusing on. While historical reports are very relevant and very useful, we're moving on from that, sitting down for that weekly or that quarterly review and saying, okay, we didn't do so well on here. Somebody take some actions to make some improvements, and we'll get back to you. See if it's improved next month. This is all about projecting out your SLAs, and then the historical reports will take care of themselves. There's perhaps one last aspect of that, which is we can also when a SLA breaches or is coming in close to pre-warning, we can send out notifications, but try and do that by exception. Otherwise, folks will just get inundated with these notifications and they'll start to ignore them.
That's great, Graham. I guess so. What do you see are the main things that businesses achieve by deploying this kind of state-of-the-art SLA management?
Sure, sure. I'm going to translate, but benefits into knowing. I think that's the biggest, benefit here is knowing the ticket that should be handled next. So the ideal scenario is that if you're kind of served up, this is the next one you need to do. This is the next one, and you follow that, then you're going to hit all your targets. And then, as I said, the reporting will take care of itself. But sometimes, reality is not quite as simple as that. The second best of that is really making informed decisions. So you've got, three things are going to be done, and you've only got time for two of them. So which two are you going to do? Yeah. And hopefully you'll see from the dashboard the filters you can apply. It'll help you make those informed decisions much more quickly. The other key benefit, the other key thing is really knowing where you are. Where are we with our overall handling of our customer promises? And so that's a lot of what we've seen today is getting that big picture, having the confidence that you've got your hands around everything and you're knowing what's going on. And that's switching from one thing in life you've got to be doing to the other, and being able to see that big picture and zoom into those particular segments that you're taking an interest in. And whether you're a supervisor or an agent, it really is knowing what is expected of me. When shall I get something done by?